Alright, ladies and germs, we've got a line chip here. We've got a line here, and a line here, and a line here. Now this bottom line doesn't move, this top line doesn't move, but this bottom line, this very bottom line, opens and closes. Windshield is cold to the touch, even though I'm not wearing a jacket. The windshield is excessively cold to the touch. It's colder, it's literally cold to the touch. We've got two chips to repair in this windshield. We're going to drill them both. I want that easy resin flow. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you have to start pushing harder and harder on your drill to get it to drill, change your bit. Drill bits are cheap. I'm barely putting any pressure on this drill at all, and it's drilling just fine. So change your drill bit if you find that you're putting a lot of pressure on your drill. Just change your drill bit. Drill bits are cheap enough. I buy them 10 boxes at a time, so I always have plenty. And I just don't like having to push on the drill that hard. So we're going to do this one down here first. We're going to evacuate the resin that was in the tool, because I want to use a thinner resin because the windshield is cold. I can't use the CR resin when the windshield is this cold. Need to use a thinner resin. There we go. All the resin's out of the tool. How easy is that, right? So we want to make sure that we're centered over the hole, of course, that we just drilled. And we are. And like I said, we're going to use a thinner resin today. I don't like using the thin resin because, like I said, I don't get as invisible of repairs. But by that token, I would rather use a thinner resin and be able to do the repair than to fight with a thicker resin not getting all the way to the end of the lines. So we're using the light viscosity resin today on these particular chips. This, I told the gentleman, this one was my main concern because of the lines in it. Especially since that bottom line likes to open. That's my biggest concern, is that bottom line that likes to open on me, but it seems to be filling in very nicely, and I don't have to hit the probe on it. So we're okay there. But even using the light viscosity resin, it's still going to take time for that resin to flow into those lines because the windshield is cold. We're at about 40 degrees right now. Warm enough for me to be without a jacket, but not warm enough for the windshield to be warm to the touch or neutral to the touch. So I have to use the thinner resin now. Now I am wearing my jacket when I ride my motorcycle. I do wear my jacket, it's right there in the box. But for just standing around doing the repair, I don't necessarily need my jacket on, because the wind's not blowing right now, so that's nice. So we're at that time of year where the windshields are mostly going to be cold, especially if they're in the shade. If they're in the sun, they might be neutral or warm to the touch. Even at 30 degrees, a windshield can still be neutral or even warm to the touch, even at 30 degrees Fahrenheit, that is. So even at 30 degrees Fahrenheit, a windshield can be neutral or warm to the touch if it's out in direct sunlight. I'm watching that top line because I want to make sure it gets enough resin in it. That's the biggest line on the chip. The bottom line is full. This line is mostly invisible, not quite. But I have to put myself in a position where I can see that top line because it's the reflection of the tool in the mirror makes the line invisible, so I have to come over here at an angle so I can see under. I'm still looking in the mirror, I'm just looking between the reflection and the actual tool, and that line is becoming less and less visible, so we are getting good resin flow. We'll pull a partial vacuum. I love my job, guys. I don't know how many times I have to say that. I just love being able to fix people's windshields and save them a bunch of money on having to replace their windshield. Just makes me feel good. And I love having a feel-good job. Alright, I think we've got that one evacuated now. We can go ahead and pressurize one more time. So because the windshield's cool to the touch, I'm less concerned about it cracking during the repair process. Now that's not to say it can't happen. It's just less likely because the windshield is actually trying to contract, not expand like it does in the heat. So I'm still looking between the tool and the reflection at that line. The other two lines are completely filled. That one's about 80% less visible. It's working its way to 90. And we just have to be patient. So if the windshield was hot to the touch, I would have done multiple vacuum and pressure cycles just over and over and over again, because that works for me in the heat of the summer. And in the wintertime when it's cold like this, I can leave the pressure on there a lot longer because, like I said, the windshield's contracted. It's not expanding, it's contracted. So because it's contracted, it's harder to get the resin to flow into it because it's all pinching down. If this was summertime, that chip would have already cracked. Can almost guarantee it. But because it's wintertime and the windshield is cold, now if he blasts his windshield with heat, that chip could have cracked. So we're thankful that he didn't blast the windshield with heat before I got here. Alright, that line is 90% less visible. I think that's about as good as it's going to get. We're going to call it. On that one. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Now I took a before picture of this one because I want to put this one on my Google. I do this before and after, a lot of before and after pictures on my Google, because I want people to see what I'm capable of. So we're going to let that one set there for a minute while we jump up here and do this one. And the problem I have with this one is the area that it's in. It's in a high tension area. Not that I'm concerned about that at this point, but the fact that it's right against the lettering right there where I can't really see the chip in the mirror makes it a little more difficult to do the repair. I'm getting a bunch of text messages for some reason. Doubt very seriously if it's a customer. It's a Saturday, so I do get a lot of business on Saturdays, but most people call me and then I tell them to text me their information so that I can let them know what time I can be in their area. It's just now after 12 on Saturday, and this is my good day. I'm just keeping going, not slowing down today because it's beautiful. It's warm out here, and I'm just going to keep going. We're not slowing down. We're just going to keep going. So even if I don't get enough calls for business, I'm going to go hand out business cards, because that way I'm going to stay busy regardless. Now that chip does have a little fine line coming off of that side right there. We're going to watch that, make sure that gets filled. The rest of the chip is already filled. We'll pull a vacuum on that one. So I'm curing this other one while I'm fixing that one, because I love being able to do two things at once. Now we'll pull a full vacuum and then we'll go ahead and pressurize again. That line is about half full. We'll go ahead and pressurize again. Yeah, this gentleman called me while I was in Magna, which is about 15 minutes from here, kind of southwest of where I'm at now. And I let him know that I could be here within the hour, and he was impressed with that, because I've got to go right through this area to get to my next one, and my next one isn't until 1 o'clock. Saturdays are kind of sparse for me. I mean, people schedule me for when they're available, because they're doing all their shopping and stuff like that on Saturdays, and they're like, well, I'm going to be over here, or I'm going to be over there, I'll be home at such and such a time, and I'm like, that's fine. So when this gentleman called me and I said I can be there within the hour, he was like, oh, fantastic, let's do it. Yep, that line is filling in nicely. It probably doesn't look like it on the camera, but I can tell by looking at the line that it's filling in, so that's what counts. I find it funny that the camera picks up the reflection off the edge of the glass. No matter how full the line is, the camera will a lot of times pick up the reflection off the edge of the glass. Especially with this thinner resin. So because the resin's thinner, it refracts light differently than the thicker resin. The thicker resin blocks more light than the thinner resin does. That line is filling in beautifully. Let's pull one more vacuum. While that's doing that, I'll get my after picture here. So I'm doing a before and after picture of this one, so let's see where I was. Okay, I had it right in the middle of the camera. Right about there. I believe that's right. Let's look and see. Yep, so there's the original, and there's the after. Beautiful. That works nicely. That worked very nicely. Let's go ahead and pressurize this one more time. We want that little line to fill. So when I pull a vacuum now, the main part of the chip doesn't draw any air in, which is nice. And it's really hard to see if the little cup on the tool is expanding, because those letters are right in the way of being able to see that cup expand. But I can do it by pressure. I can do it by feel. That line is almost filled in all the way. We're just going to let that sit there for a minute. Guys, we got to be more patient in the wintertime. Wintertime takes a little longer, especially when the windshield's cold to the touch. Can't rush the process. I don't rush the process in the summer when the windshield is excessively hot to the touch. I don't rush the process in the wintertime when the windshield is cold to the touch. It seems like fall and spring, when the windshields are fairly neutral, or just slightly warm to the touch, or just slightly cool to the touch, that I can do the fastest repairs. So that's a beautiful thing, but I can't do it all the time. So for the pit fill on this one, we're going to use the CR resin to pit fill this one, because the drill mark, the drill hole is the same size, it just looks bigger because of the lettering right there. So we're going to use a little bit thicker resin to fill that hole in. Guys, if you're liking my videos, click the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video, and throw me some love. I'd greatly appreciate it. Hope you're getting something out of these. I mean, I hope you're either just enjoying them for the entertainment value. I know I'm not telling jokes and stuff or acting like an idiot like some people do that get a lot of views, but hopefully it's entertaining to you. Or maybe you're learning something. Either way, I'd appreciate the subscribe. Can't build a channel if you're not subscribing, guys. That's a fact. And it doesn't cost you anything, it's free. It just lets YouTube know that you like my channel, so they'll recommend it to other people. They'll recommend it to more people, so more people can like the channel. Talking to a friend of mine a while back, and I said, you know, I told him about my channel and stuff, and I normally don't tell my friends about my YouTube channel, but I was doing a chip repair and in a parking lot, and he just happened to pull in and saw me doing my repair, and I was just finishing up the repair, so of course I said on camera, you know, hit the subscribe, click the like, share the video, throw me some love. And then I turned off the camera, and he was like, what are you making video of? And I said, I'm doing chip repairs. He's like, well, I know that, but what are you making a video of? I said, the chip repairs. And he says, really? He goes, do you think you're going to get famous? And I said, nope. And he goes, well, he goes, I'm sure you'll get a lot of subscribers. And I said, how do you figure? He goes, I am subscribed to a channel. Now this is him talking. He says, I am subscribed to a channel where the guy, all he does is change tires. That's it. Same thing over and over again. You've seen one, you've seen them all. He says, but for some reason, I can't get enough of watching him change tires. And he's got 100,000 subscribers, and he's doing really well. And I said, wow, that's pretty cool. And he goes, yeah, and it's boring. He says, but I just can't seem to get enough of it. And I said, so because you watch a guy changing tires, you think I'm going to get a lot of subscribers because I'm boring? And he said, no, you're not boring. He said, the guy changing tires is boring, and he's got 100,000 subscribers, so there's no reason why you shouldn't get 100,000 subscribers. So I can still see the circle ghost on this one, just the outline. Just barely, but that's because I'm looking at it. I don't see any lines on that one. That one, there it is. I don't see any lines on that one at all. And he did tell me if I find another one to go ahead and fix it, and I didn't see any other chips. I see some scuffs, but I don't see any other rock chips. So we're going to call it on that one, guys. Alright, once again, I'd appreciate a subscribe, a like, a share, and a comment if you feel like throwing me a comment. Somebody mentioned that they wanted to see how I clean my tools. If that interests you, let me know, and if it does, I'll make a video about how I clean my bridges. Anyway, if you're not interested in that, if I don't get enough comments saying yes, we're interested, then I won't make a video. But if I get enough comments saying yes, we're interested in seeing how you clean your bridges, then I'll make a video of how I clean and take care of my bridges. Alright guys, that's it. We'll see you in the next one.